This realm is home to humans and monsters. It is there you and your allies' adventure will unfold. That's the spirit. Now then, it's time to depart. Safe travels, my friend. A girl faces off against a monster within a dim cave. The girl adjusts her stance, readies her weapon, and lunges at her opponent. A battle right off the bat! Drive back the monster! The monster defeated, the girl lets out a sigh of relief. She surveys the area, but sees neither hide nor hair of other beasts. This girl is the hero of our story, and your window into the world. Despite your youth, you are a fierce warrior who defends your village from monsters. To get home. Your mission accomplished, you quickly leave the area. In this world, there are creatures known as monsters. Humans have long been in conflict with these beasts. This trap was rigged up to protect the village. Boulders drop from above and crush the monsters below. This ballista was installed to safeguard the village. Its massive arrows have split many a monstrous skull. This concealed pit trap was dug in order to protect the village. A growing pile of monster corpses lies at its bottom. Your village lies deep beneath the earth. Everyone has taken to living underground to safeguard themselves from the monsters. Although the village itself is well protected, the people within it are slowly but steadily spiraling toward ruin. The village is the same as always. It appears the battle above has not affected life here at all. An elderly man approaches you. "Well done hunting down those beasts. Are you unharmed?" he asks. You nod. He gives a sigh of relief, then begins asking question after question about the monster's strength and numbers. He appears to be worried about the gates and mechanisms on each level and whether they'll be enough to defend the village. "Don't worry, I'll protect the village," you reassure him in a cheery voice, then continue on your way home. The girl's face lights up when she sees you. "Hey, come play with me again," she chirps, giving you a tight hug. The old woman smiles gently at you. "Thank you for protecting our village, but don't push yourself too hard, dear," she says. The young man's face turns red. "If you need anything, I'm your guy," he exclaims. Ooh. There are large gaps in the roof and walls, but it hardly matters in a village with no rain. As you enter your house, your mother envelops you in a warm hug. Your mother seems worried as you haven't been home in days. "You've been away for so long. Let the others know you've returned," she says, handing you a basket full of eggs. "They're eggs from your chickens. It's your job to distribute these throughout the village." "Okay, I'll be right back," you exclaim with a cheerful smile. After you give the old woman a few eggs, she hands you some homemade seasonings. "I will. You take care of yourself too, you hear?" you reply in a lively voice. When the girl notices you, she immediately presents you with an armful of potatoes. "That's incredible," you exclaim, giving her a good-natured pat on the head. You then trade her some eggs for the giant potato. Just as you're about to hand the young man some eggs, you see his ears turn red, and he lifts a jar of water up. "Don't worry, I can handle it," you assure him. Then take the jar and hand him some eggs. A delectable scent wafts from your house. You hurry to finish your chores so you can go home and eat. You hand the elderly man some eggs, and he gives you a large fish in return. The elderly man forces a smile, and you give him a smile of your own. Everything will be all right, you reassure him before heading on your way. After making sure everyone receives their eggs, you quickly head home, spoils in hand. You return home to see tasty dishes upon the table. While simple, it is more extravagant than usual. "Happy birthday, dear," your mother says, stroking your cheek gently. That's right. Today is the day you turn 14. Your mother gifted you a handmade plush animal for the occasion. Oh, what an adorable plushie! "I'm sorry I can't give you more," your mother laments, "but you have nothing but gratitude for her." Just then, your stomach starts to rumble. Your mother smiles and asks, "Shall we eat?" That night at bedtime, you lay upon your bed with your plush animal in your arms. "Yep, that's it," you say to yourself decisively. "Your name is Ram." Your new plush animal officially has a name. "It's nice to meet you, Ram. My name is..." You introduce yourself to the plush animal, as any well-mannered person would. You decide to show your new friend your most prized possession. You grab the book that's always beside your pillow and flip through until you reach a certain page. "Aren't the stars just beautiful? This is what the outside world looks like. I want to see it with my own eyes someday," you confess. Not long after, you feel yourself getting sleepy. A scream echoes through the village. Monsters. You dash out of your house. Not a moment later, the old woman rushes over. "The upper gates have been breached," she cries. Your mother rushes over with a concerned look on her face and places something in your hand. "I've never seen them in such great number," she proclaims, clearly panicked. "I'm scared," the little girl whimpers. Her body trembles as she cries. Before the 4th level gate, the villagers face off against the incoming beasts. An elderly man turns to you and exclaims, "We must." You nod and turn both pointed gaze and pointed weapon at the creatures. There are many traps nearby that will help you defeat the monsters. Use them to protect the gate. Battle time. You defended the gate splendidly. Once the battle is over, the villagers tell you that the upper levels are in danger, so you make your way up. The young man is fighting back monsters, but is losing ground. It won't be long before they reach the gate. I'll fight them off. You close the gate, you shout. The young man grimaces. I'm so sorry, he says, closing the gate behind him. Get him! You manage to defend the gate, but see the old man from the village approach. Blood oozes out of a gaping wound on his back. You rush to his side and check his pulse, but he doesn't have one. But the village, you gasp out, your heart trembling in anger and unease. Pebbles patter down on you from above. When you look up, you see a giant hole in the ceiling. You wonder if that's how the monsters got in. Oh no. Your mother. Is she safe? The young man has already breathed his last. No longer will that cheerful voice ever call out to you. The girl has already breathed her last. No longer will you feel her little hand hold yours. The old woman has already breathed her last. No longer will those warm eyes ever look upon you. You rush into your house, panting for breath, and find your mother on the ground in a pool of blood. Mother, you shriek. She opens her eyes, but only just. You sob and scream as you cling tight to her, but she never wakes to console you. Ram lies among the rubble, tattered and frayed. It is beyond repair. Your screams are the only sounds in the village that once hummed with life. Just then, a monster with a wounded eye appears. I found a survivor. As the monster shouts those resentful words, it lunges at you. You can't bring yourself to put up a fight. Everyone you ever cared about is gone forever. The monster brandishes its weapon, readying to strike the final blow. Having lost all those precious to you, you close your eyes and resign yourself to your fate. When you open your eyes, you see the gravely wounded beast on the ground. You also see a boy, who you assume is the one who struck down the monster. "You okay?" he asks. In a faint voice, you ask him who he is. "I'm here to save you," he answers as he helps you to your feet. "Come on. This place is about to collapse," he says, then pulls you along. Maybe it's the shock, but you think you hear Ram, crushed under the debris, whisper, "Go." Your home, your village, your family, memories of your life underground flood your mind. You remember the old man who was such a worrywart, but only because he loved the village more than anyone else. You remember the little girl who always asked you to play with her. You remember the regrettably unreliable but undeniably kind-hearted young man. You remember the wise old woman who taught you all manner of things. Your heart aches for your mother, who loved you more than anyone. The old man has already breathed his last. We're almost at the surface, the mysterious boy says. You don't know if you can trust him, but you have nowhere else to go. Though your legs are unstable, you keep moving forward, unsure what awaits. You lay eyes on the surface for the first time in your life. Captivated by the endless sands before you, you scoop up a handful. Just then, the passage leading to your village collapses. Your family, friends, and even Ram are all buried in the sand now. You fall to your knees, overcome with grief. The boy stares at you, watching as you sob until you can barely breathe. Once you've calmed, he speaks. "Let's go," he says, then begins walking. You can't cross quicksand on foot. The boy stands before some sort of wreckage. It appears to be the remains of some mode of desert transportation that was destroyed by a sandstorm. Whatever was inside of it seems to be missing, too. "Can you walk?" he asks you. For the first time, you realize just how thirsty you are. You shake your head, and the boy tells you of an oasis to the west. "Try not to faint before then," he says curtly.
Oh, good point.
Oh! Once you arrive, both you and the boy scoop water out of the oasis to quench your parched throats. You swallow, hoping to ease the dryness in your throat, and cast your hollow eyes at the sky. "I can't see the stars," you murmur. "Of course you can't," he replies. "The sun never sets here. In a world without night, stars are merely a thing of fairy tales." When you ask the boy where he's going, his answer is short: to get revenge. Revenge. A darkness finds its way into your once hollow eyes. "I want revenge on the monsters," you whisper. "They robbed you of everything you loved. There's no way that can go unpunished." "Follow me," he says, then extends a hand to you. You take it. The boy says he's heading to Steelborough in the north to find a means to exact his revenge. You decide to head that way with him. Get him! You won't survive. A masterful victory!